Okay, one of the first things we need to do in a drawing class is learn to actually see the subject that you're trying to draw. And so there's a process called blind contour, where you look at the subject while you're drawing and you don't look at your paper. The reason for that is that a tendency is to actually spend more time looking at your paper than actually what it is that you're drawing. And what you record is something that really is more what you imagined of what you saw than what you're actually seeing. So the trick is to get yourself used to actually looking at the subject while you're actually making the mark on the paper. That's why it's called blind contour, because you're making a contour of the subject, which for now is going to be this leaf. Okay, I'm going to have you find something at home if you're not here in class. It could be a leaf, but you'll need something to do this project with. So it could be an old tennis shoe, some clothes that are on the floor. It doesn't matter. Anything that has kind of a continuous contour that you can look at and that isn't so simple that you're going to make just lines without actually trying to actually follow what you're seeing. So what I'm going to do is demonstrate that now. Is I'm going to try finding, like, say, this point on the leaf. I'm going to hold it up over here, and then I'm going to start drawing from that point and imagine myself moving down the line that I see and making every little tiny change in direction. Because drawing is really, it's geometry, okay? Your line's moving in a direction at an angle, and in order to make something look like what it is that you're trying to draw, you have to make sure that your contours follow the directional movement of the shape. So as this moves up at a slight angle to the right, it then turns to the left and back to the right. It's changing angles constantly. And again, with something like a leaf, there's all kinds of little changes in it. And in order to try and really focus on what you're seeing, you have to make subtle changes in direction constantly. And it's not going to be perfect, but it's more a matter of learning to focus and actually try and see the angle of movement of the contour lines. So let's see how that's going. Yeah, it's pretty good. And again, I'm probably going to fall off the paper at some point here. That's okay. Because I'm just trying to follow the line with my eyes. And then, yeah, there we go. Okay, I fell off the paper. So I fell off somewhere about there. Okay, you can see that. All right, I fell off there. So I'm going to start again. I'm not going to look at the paper. I'm just going to start at another point on this, and I'm going to start drawing again. Going down, slight angle, slight change, up, tiny little point, angling down. Again, not moving too fast. Starting to arc back across, a little tiny nub on there, come back down, angle almost straight down, and then angle back this way. So everything is just a change in angle of line movement. That's really what drawing is. It's about seeing the geometry of a shape, and some shapes have more organic lines, some have more straight, angular, geometric lines. So again, normally you wouldn't be talking constantly while you're trying to draw, but I just want to try and describe what it is that I'm doing and also show you the actual pace that this project should happen at. It shouldn't be rapid. It's not fast sketching. It's more about focusing on that contour, okay, and trying to get every little change in direction. So for something as complex as this, it should take, a couple minutes. Okay, and again, fell off the page again. So I got that part, this part. I'm going to go across here now. I'm just going to start in a random spot because I'm not looking at, it's not about making a perfect drawing. It's just about focusing on what it is you're trying to see so that your attention is really recording what's actually in front of you, not what you imagine you see, but what you actually see. All right? So, it's going down, back up. So I know now this video is probably going to run a little long. You're going to get tired of watching it. So I'm going to just try and finish this up, not rush through it. Finish up this one section and then stop. Okay, so what you see is there are lines that indicate the form. They're not coming together to make a unified image, but you're seeing real line character that feels like the kind of lines that you're seeing in here. Okay, so there's clearly some mistakes, and that's going to happen because I'm not actually looking at the paper. And you might wonder, how is this going to help my drawing? It's going to make literally night and day difference on how well you draw. Not just how well you draw, but how well you see the world around you. So the whole idea of this class is not simply to teach you how to draw well, but actually how to function better in life, because life is all about, seeing what's going on around you, and whatever it is you're dealing with, the more you can focus and see things correctly and see what's really there, you'll be much better at problem solving, and particularly you'll be much better at drawing because you're actually recording what you're seeing and responding to what you're actually seeing, not what you imagine you saw, but what you actually saw. So you're going to do this for a series of drawings based on different shapes that you see that you can draw, and spend an hour, well, it won't be a full hour, probably more like about 40 minutes of your day today doing this kind of drawing. Now, this isn't something you do one time and then never do it again. It's part of the drawing process that you should do pretty much every time you draw, but you won't do it as rigid as what I've done here. You'll be looking and drawing, and like say I'm doing this leaf, I'll look at it, I'll start to draw it, but then I'm going to take a moment once I've made a couple of lines and make sure I have them right. Say there, right there, it was not angling quite right. I'm going to go back this way. Okay, a subtle change. So it's really more about making sure that you're predominantly looking at what it is you're trying to draw, and that you make adjustments based on how well you did. So once I put down there, I can take a look at it. I can say, well, this should have, that's pretty good. Going down, cross, out, and then changing direction right here. So again, there was very little I would have had to have changed in that. And so, this is what I drew when I'm actually looking at the subject and referring back to here. This is what I drew when I was just freehanding it. So that's what you want to start working on today. It's called blind contour drawing. It's the first step in learning how to draw, because like I said, what the whole purpose of drawing is to be able to observe things, record them, and make something that makes sense to the viewer about what you saw and what your perceptions were of what you were drawing. All right? Okay, you guys, have a good day.